And good morning from just outside the station at Luzern. The first station here was built in 1856, being replaced in 1896 by a bigger one which sadly burnt down in 1971, leaving only this splendid arch. Well, here we are at Luzern, and the first trip I'm going to do this morning is I'm just going to do a little ride up to Engelberg, which is on a meter gauge line and has a panoramic cast. I have to confess, I actually went on this a couple of days ago with Mark from Let's Make a Trip, so I know what I've got in store, but I wasn't recording at the time, so I thought, yeah, I've actually just got an hour to spare this morning in Lucerne, so I thought, why not have a little bonus vid of Lucerne to Engelberg? So let's go round to Lucerne station and hop on the train to Engelberg. It really is a lovely day for some train travel. The new station was inaugurated in 1991. The architects left the design of this concrete frontage to none other than Santiago Calatrava. So let's get inside and see what he's been up to. Well, there's certainly hints of Calatrava's later works here in the thin-ribbed ceiling supports. And as you climb up onto the mezzanine, this is where you will find the staff ticket office and some eateries. And also a pretty good view all the way down to the underground shopping centre. Ah, there's one of those beautiful copper-coloured Südostbahn flirts in the platform, but that's not going to be our carrier for today. But still, right now there's plenty of time to drink in all the different trains coming into and out of Luzern. Until finally, it's time to go over to those eastern platforms for our train to Engelberg. And coming in right next to our platform is Die Zentralbahn's other major service, which runs from here right across to Interlaken. And then here comes our train working in from Engelberg. It's a rake of first and second class coaches, including a panoramic coach, all propelled by an HGE 4.4 electric locomotive. Interesting in that it can work both as adhesion and a cog loco. And off goes the train for Interlaken. Now, if I time this right, I will be jumping straight onto the next one after we've completed this ride. Let's hop onto our train and walk through, and as you'd expect for a ski train, there's lots of places to put your skis and your boards. And second class is 2+2 and is certainly comfortable enough for the 45-minute run up to the mountain. That looks about enough legroom, and there's overhead luggage racks, and of course wherever you look there's more spaces for ski or boarding kit. But right at the front is the jewel of the train, the first-class panoramic coach. Now, it's quite busy as people are all going up the mountain on this morning train. The seats also look okay, and the tables have a map on them. And that reminds me, let's have a look at our own map. Our train will head south out of Luzern and skirt the side of Lake Luzern itself, before cutting across for its first stop at Stans. Then there's more stops at Dallenwil, Nijderkenbach, Wolfenschiessen, and finally a request stop at Grafnor. And then our locomotive will drop its cogs and we'll have the fast climb up to Engelberg, which is at about 1,000 metres above sea level. It's just 33 kilometres or 20.5 miles, and it will take us 43 minutes with an average speed of 46 kilometres per hour or 29 miles per hour, which, considering the big climb we've got in front of us, isn't actually that bad. And the first part of the trip is to head out of the station and skirt the side of Lake Luzern, following the same route as the trains for Interlaken. And once we pop out of the Luzern tunnel, almost immediately we are treated to views of Lake Luzern. And what a great way it is to start our climb, although of course the two tourists who have sat on my left are having none of it and have pulled the blind down. Another short tunnel brings us out to Hergiswil, and now we get some mountain views. Our narrow gauge single track line really squeezes through the buildings of the town. And eventually we crawl through Haugesfield station itself and the two lines separate. We go east and the Interlaken line will swing west through our own dedicated tunnels. And soon we're out and crossing the water with the cars into Stansted, which incidentally is where there are extensive ZB workshops. And so now the real journey begins as we climb the beautiful valley of the River Aar. Stansted is where the railway originally started in 1898. Back in those days you'd have travelled from Luzern on a lake steamer before changing to the train. And once more at Stans we pull our elbows in to squeeze between the houses. This really is a wonderful little stretch of real Swiss-style countryside. The sunshine has burnt away the early morning mist and we can see everything in all its glory. Although there seems to be a big queue of traffic on the road. Well, we'll soon find out why. At Dallenville, the train working down from the mountain passes us, so we can now use the single track section ahead to make our climb. The river looks really pretty today, but it also looks very cold indeed, as I suppose it's mostly runoff from the melting snow further up. Well, this is all very lovely, but I'm beginning to get a little concerned because I can smell burning. I hope the train's okay. Anyway, dotted along the valley there seem to be private cable lifts to properties up on the hillsides. And that waterfall really is something. Well, I suppose that's one of the benefits of the rain I've been seeing whilst I've been in Switzerland. And look, the fire brigade are drawing water from the river. And for good reason. Well, this place really has gone up. These wooden chalet-style buildings certainly burn fast when they go. Well, at least it looks like the fire brigade are on top of it. And now I think we can see why the road has been temporarily closed. If the weather had been good enough when Mark and I came here a couple of days before, I'd have ridden up to Engelberg and then walked back here along the riverside. From the information I saw, it's both an easy and a very beautiful walk. Oh well, maybe some other time. And right now it's time for the big climb. This tunnel was completed in 2010. Prior to this, the rack line would have run closer to the road and the river. As we are close to the loco, you should be able to maybe just hear the cogs grinding as we make our way up the tunnel, increasing our elevation by around 430 metres during the climb. As a result, the carriage is at a very noticeable angle. And then we're out and under the watchful view of the mountains, which still tower over us, even though we are now 1,000 metres above sea level. Of course, Engelberg is a winter sports centre with a network of lifts and funiculars which take people up onto the slopes and up to the Titlis Glacier. But I won't have any time for that because I'm going to be taking the train straight back down again, so I can meet that next train to Interlaken at Luzern. Well, I hope I don't miss it, as this train is now being delayed due to the trackside fire. So this is usually when I say goodbye and thank you all for watching, which of course I do. But let's run on into the next video in the series, and I will have the coach all to myself for the ride down. So Let's hang around and you'll hear how the next video will start. So here I am on my way back to Luzern from Engelberg, and due to a fire near the line they're running a little bit late, so I plan to be on the 11:06 and we'll leave Luzern for Interlaken on the Panorama Express, kind of golden past part 1. Of course that's if this train gets us into Luzern in time. I'm reasonably confident that the train will, and so and I'm hopeful that it will be on the platform right across from us. So yeah, we're going to go from Luzern to Interlaken, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So join me and we'll see how it goes. And if you fancy seeing how it goes, once that video's released, you should find it on that top right hand corner of the screen now. But if it's not there, don't worry, it'll get released very soon indeed. But from this video, I'd just like to say once more, thank you so much for watching, and do pop back for more adventures in Switzerland and lots of other parts of the UK and Europe.